Have you ever heard the story of Harold? Harold was a 62-year-old man with a calm, predictable life. He was retired, spent time gardening, read the paper every morning, and met with friends for coffee a couple of times a week. From the outside, it looked like he had things figured out, but Harold had a secret, one that quietly drained his energy, dimmed his motivation, and left him feeling disconnected. It wasn't something he ever talked about, not with his wife, not with his doctor, not even with his closest friends. Harold had fallen into a habit of regular solitary sexual release, masturbation, that over the years went from occasional to routine. It was something he picked up decades ago, and at first, it felt like nothing more than a private way to relieve stress. But now, it had become a quiet escape from boredom, loneliness, and restlessness. He couldn't put his finger on it at first, but something was missing. He felt less alive, less present, less like the man he used to be. Before we dive deeper into Harold's journey and what it means for you, I want to pause for a quick moment. If you're someone who values real talk about aging, vitality, relationships, and personal growth, this channel is for you. We share powerful insights that help men reclaim their best years, and you don't want to miss out. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. Join a community that's committed to growing stronger, not older. Now, back to Harold. He began to notice that his days were getting blurry. The enthusiasm he once had for his passions had faded. His interactions with his wife were growing shallow, and the intimacy they once shared had quietly disappeared. What replaced it was time spent alone, retreating into habits that provided temporary satisfaction, but left him feeling empty afterward. Harold started asking questions. Was this just aging? Was it normal to feel so disconnected? Or was there something deeper going on? He began to look into how his long-term habit might be affecting him. What he discovered surprised him, and it might surprise you too. Let's explore what Harold found and why this conversation matters for any man over 60 who wants to stay sharp, vital, and deeply connected to life. First, let's talk biology. As men age, testosterone, the hormone responsible for drive, strength, and motivation, naturally declines. That's a normal part of life. But here's where it gets tricky. Excessive masturbation, especially when done regularly over long periods, can create hormonal imbalances. It can reduce dopamine sensitivity, the very brain chemical responsible for pleasure, reward, and motivation. That means the more frequently you rely on quick, artificial pleasure, the harder it becomes to feel excited about real-life things, like a walk outdoors, a conversation with your partner, or a project that once thrilled you. Your brain adapts, and not in a good way. Now imagine waking up not feeling groggy or depleted, but refreshed, motivated to take on your day. You feel more alert, more alive. That's the shift Harold experienced when he began to scale back. Within a few weeks, he noticed something. He had more energy. His mood lifted, and slowly, his sense of curiosity returned. He found himself reaching for a book instead of a screen. He started making breakfast with his wife again. The spark that had faded, it started flickering back to life. But let's go deeper, because it's not just about energy or brain chemistry, it's about relationships. One of the most profound effects of Harold's decision to change his habit came in his marriage. For years, physical intimacy had become rare, almost non-existent. At first, he thought it was just something that happens with age. But the truth was, his desire had been redirected elsewhere, toward solo gratification instead of shared connection. When he stopped defaulting to that old pattern, something beautiful happened. He began noticing his wife again. Her smile, her laughter, the way she touched his shoulder as she walked past. The emotional distance that had grown between them started to shrink. Intimacy wasn't just physical, it was emotional, and it was coming back. You see, when you rely on solo habits to meet your needs, you're not just avoiding discomfort, you're avoiding connection. True connection requires presence, vulnerability, and yes, effort. But it also brings joy, meaning, and the kind of fulfillment that no screen can replicate. Some of you might be thinking, but it helps me relax. It's how I unwind. It's harmless, isn't it? And for some people, sure. Used in moderation and without consequences, it might not seem like a big deal. But ask yourself honestly, has it become a crutch? Is it something you choose or something you feel pulled toward automatically? If it's interfering with your energy, your mood, or your relationships, maybe it's time to rethink its role in your life. So let's talk about what to do if you want to make a change, like Harold did. The first step is awareness. Start paying attention to the moments when the urge strikes. Are you bored, lonely, anxious? Are you using it as a distraction from emotions you don't want to feel? Once you recognize the trigger, you can begin to create space between the urge and the action. Next, replace the pattern with something life-giving. If it's boredom, try engaging your mind. Read a book, learn something new, take up a hobby you dropped years ago. If it's loneliness, reach out, call a friend, join a walking group or a men's discussion circle. Real connection beats temporary escape every time. And if it's stress, consider healthier outlets. Meditation, deep breathing, journaling, or simply taking a walk can help calm your mind and ground you in the present. Physical activity, in particular, is a game changer. Not only does it boost your mood, but it also improves circulation, hormone balance, and confidence. Harold joined a Tai Chi class at the local community center, and not only did it strengthen his body, but it connected him with new people, gave him structure, and lifted his spirits. Now let's address something deeper, the emotional cycle of shame and guilt that often surrounds this habit. If you've tried to stop before but slipped back into old patterns, you're not alone. The point isn't to be perfect, it's to be intentional. Progress, not perfection. Harold didn't change overnight. He had setbacks. There were days he gave in, but he kept going. He kept reminding himself of his why. More energy, deeper love, and a fuller life. He celebrated small wins, one day without falling into the habit, then 3, then a week. Over time, those small victories added up. His confidence grew, his posture changed, and perhaps most importantly, the man he saw in the mirror began to look familiar again. So, how do you start? Here's a simple framework. 1. Set a goal, not to quit cold turkey, but to reduce gradually. 2. Track your progress. Use a journal or app to stay aware. 3. Replace the habit with meaningful activities, movement, or connection. 4. Get support. Talk to someone. You're not meant to do this alone. 5. Be kind to yourself. It's not about punishment, it's about empowerment. Let's come back to Harold one last time. He's now 65. He volunteers at a local school garden. He plays chess with his grandson. He laughs more with his wife. They hold hands again when they walk. The intimacy they share isn't just physical, it's emotional, spiritual, and deep. The habit that once quietly stole his joy, it no longer has power over him. If Harold can do it, you can too. This isn't about judgment, it's about freedom, about reclaiming your energy, your focus, your connection to the people and things that matter most. You have the power to shift, to grow, to feel more alive at 60, 70, even 80 than you did at 40. You just have to take that first step. Before we wrap up, if this message resonated with you, consider subscribing. This channel is a safe space where we explore the challenges and triumphs of aging with grace, strength, and purpose. You're not alone on this journey, and the best may still be ahead. Thank you for watching, and remember, you're not defined by your past. You're empowered by what you choose to do next. You've got this. Let's keep growing together.